Every great story needs a question it can't answer. For Portugal, the question has always been the same. Will this be the year? To understand Portugal at a World Cup, you first have to understand what football means there. It's not a sport. It's a shared language. From the Bairro Alto in Lisbon to the fishing villages of the Algarve, when Portugal play, the entire country holds its breath together. And 2026 carries a weight even heavier than usual. Because before a single ball was kicked, Portugal lost one of their own. Diogo Jota, 28 years old. A forward who played with hunger and joy in equal measure. 49 caps, 14 goals, and a smile that could light up a dressing room. In July 2025, he and his brother Andre were killed in a car accident in Spain. Football stopped. Portugal stopped. But when the World Cup arrived, his teammates made a decision. Every single player would wear a bracelet on their wrist, engraved with the names of the whole squad, including Diogo Jota's. The Portuguese Prime Minister had them made himself and handed them to the team. Vitinha, Portugal's midfielder, said it simply, "We all miss him. We want to win this for him." So when you watch Portugal this summer, look at their wrists. That bracelet isn't just jewelry, it's a promise. And then there's him. You already know the name. There's a reason I haven't said it yet. Cristiano Ronaldo is 41 years old. Let that sink in for a second. Most footballers have long since retired by this age. Some are managing clubs, some are doing punditry on TV. Ronaldo is preparing for his 6th World Cup, a record no human being has ever reached. He made his debut for Portugal in 2003. Some of his current teammates hadn't been born yet. His record for Portugal is almost impossible to comprehend. 143 goals in 226 games. The most international goals in the history of the sport. He's won the Euros. He's won Champions Leagues. He has every individual award imaginable. But the World Cup? It's the one thing that has always been just out of reach. 2006, semifinals, knocked out by France. 2010, knocked out by Spain in the round of 16. 2014, group stage exit. 2018, knocked out by Uruguay. 2022, quarter-final, beaten by Morocco. 5 tournaments. 5 heartbreaks. The question people are asking isn't can Ronaldo still play at this level? It's something more uncomfortable. Should he? There are those coaches, pundits, fans who wonder if Ronaldo's presence in the squad comes at a cost. Whether the team could be more fluid, more modern, without the weight of managing the greatest player of his generation. But here's the counter-argument. This man has never stopped wanting it. And teams that believe they can win something, they often do. Whatever you think of the debate, in North America this summer, Cristiano Ronaldo will run out for Portugal one final time. And 1 billion people will be watching. But here's what the Ronaldo conversation sometimes drowns out. Portugal might have the most talented squad they've ever assembled. And most of it isn't even 30 yet. Bruno Fernandes. If Ronaldo is the icon, Bruno is the engine. Manchester United's most creative force, the player who makes things happen. Goals, assists, vision. At this World Cup, he's the man Portugal's attacking play runs through. Gonzalo Ramos, the striker who famously came on as a substitute at Qatar 2022 and scored a hat trick. A hat trick. In a World Cup round of 16, as a substitute. He's grown into a genuine starter since then. Clinical, intelligent, a natural finisher. Rafael Leão, pure electricity. The AC Milan winger who can turn a game on its head in seconds. When he's on form, and this summer he is one of the most entertaining players in world football. Pedro Neto. Pace, creativity, end product. Chelsea's wingman who quietly became one of the most reliable attacking players in the Premier League this season. This is not a one-man team waiting for Ronaldo to rescue them. This is a squad. And they just won the Nations League, beating Spain in the final, which is no small thing. Spain are one of the favorites to win this entire World Cup. Portugal showed they can beat anyone. So what does Portugal's road to glory actually look like? They're in Group K alongside Colombia, DR Congo, and Uzbekistan. Think of the group stage like a round-robin mini-tournament. You play 3 games, the top 2 teams advance. Then it's knockout football from there. Portugal's group is manageable. Their first 2 games, against DR Congo and Uzbekistan, are against sides playing in their first ever World Cup. These are nations making history just by being there. Portugal should progress comfortably. The 3rd game against Colombia is trickier. Colombia have players like Luis Diaz, quality, experienced footballers. But Portugal should handle it. The bigger picture? The 2026 World Cup is the biggest in history. 48 teams instead of 32. That means Portugal can potentially avoid some of the real heavyweights: France, Spain, Argentina, Brazil, until the quarterfinals. Experts currently rate Portugal as roughly the 6th best team in the tournament. Semifinals? Realistic. The final? Possible. The trophy itself? That would be history. Because in all their 8 World Cup appearances, Portugal's best finish remains 3rd place, back in 1966 in England. They have never been to a World Cup final. 60 years on from their greatest World Cup, a new generation stands at the door. Can they walk through it? Here's where we have to be honest. Because this isn't a hype video. This is a story. And every good story has doubt. Roberto Martínez, Portugal's manager, is a figure who divides opinion. He's Spanish, calm, methodical. He took over after the Qatar disaster in 2022 and has rebuilt the team's confidence. But his record in major tournaments isn't flawless. At Euro 2024, Portugal went out on penalties to France, again, at the quarterfinals. And there's a question that follows him. Does he manage Ronaldo, or does Ronaldo manage him? It's a fair question. No one in football history has had a bigger personality in their dressing room. Portugal's strongest football, the movement, the pressing, the collective play, sometimes gets disrupted when the entire system bends toward getting Ronaldo the ball. The counter-argument? The Nations League final win over Spain suggested Martinez has found a balance. And Ronaldo himself said before the tournament, "We can dream. We can be a candidate." Not arrogance. Something quieter. Something that sounds like a man who knows this is his last chance and has made peace with doing it the right way. There are also the heartbreaks burned into Portugal's memory. Morocco in 2022, France in 2024. Moments when they were so close and then weren't. International football is cruel. The margin between winning and going home is paper thin. Can this group handle the pressure when it matters most? But here's why you'll watch anyway. Because sport is ultimately about hope. And Portugal carries something into this World Cup that no other team has. They carry the memory of a 28-year-old who should have been here. A bracelet engraved with a name that won't be called in any lineup. A ghost in the stands who loved this team. And they carry something else. A 41-year-old man running onto a pitch for the last time, knowing that this is it. No more chances, no second guessing, no, there's always next time. This is it. If Portugal win this World Cup, it will be one of the most emotional sporting moments in a generation. Not just for Portugal, for football. The greatest goal scorer in the history of the sport, finally, on the biggest stage of all, lifting the one trophy he never could. That doesn't happen often. Maybe it doesn't happen at all. But that's the dream. And dreams are why we watch. Portugal kick off their 2026 World Cup campaign on June 17th against DR Congo. For some players in that squad, it's their first tournament. For one of them, it's his last. For the man whose name is on every bracelet, it's his only World Cup. The one he never got to play in. They'll carry him to every game. Whether they bring him home a trophy, that's the story still being written. Go on, Portugal. Uma nação, sonho, uma última dança. One nation, one dream, one last dance.